Hey everybody, welcome back to another iiRcade Gamedaze. I'm your host, Michael, executive producer here at iiRcade. Cabal is now available on the store, so yes, our third TAD Corporation game is now available today, so the Call Classic is coming to you with online gameplay as well as global leaderboards right out the gate, so have fun, check that out. We'll be talking about that in just a second here. Beyond that, I did want to mention the, of course, Week 3 game sales going on for the holiday game sales. 5 weeks of game sales, keep in mind. We've had 2 already. We, of course, had Week 1 of action games. Week 2 was the arcade-style games. And Week 3 is now the fighting games alongside the action, or the adventure RPG games, as well as the sports games, right? So that's the fighters, the adventure RPG games, as well as the sports games. All available for 30% off this week in the game store right now, right? So, let's move on to our first topic. Cabal we've actually talked about in detail before as well too, but I did want to touch base on it today for its release, right? Its proper release. And again, this game is now available with online gameplay as well as global leaderboards. This is a 2-player simultaneous game, so you can shoot your way through tons and tons of different military sequences, military bases, other places in the world, whatever you want to call them really, right? Different locations we'll call them. So, you can shoot as well as you can roll in this game, which is extremely vital to your success if you're looking for those leaderboards scores. So rolling is a very big thing in this game, as well as your third button in this game is going to be grenades. So grenades are your limited resource. You can pick up more. Make sure that you're firing at pretty much everything in this game. Most structures, anything that you see in the background pretty much is typically able to be destroyed. And it usually gives you points for it, right? So it does award you for just mass destruction in this game. That's what it's all about. This is the arcade version of the game. So Cabal was released in other ports, right? So for like Nintendo Entertainment System, as well as, some Atari ports, and a few other things, right? So Amiga, I believe, as well as PC ports back in the day. However, this is the arcade version, right? So the arcade version also did come in 2 different versions. So Fabtech did release this arcade machine in North America in both a joystick version as well as a dual trackball version, which is interesting enough, right? So this game originally did release, however, in 1988, there we go, in Japan, originally published by Taito, right? So this game is, however, created, developed, and fully owned still by TAD Corporation, which is published back then to make the machines by Taito, as well as in North America and the stateside by Fabtech, which is probably the machine that most of you are most familiar with, I would say, right? So check out Cabal. It's available right now for $9.99 on the iiRcade digital store, so go to iiRcade.store on the web browser, or an Android-based phone. We'll bring up the app if you like that too. Pick it up today. Now that we're smack dab in the middle of the holiday game sales, let's move on to the Week 3 games. I'm not going to do a top 10 today like I have for the past 2 weeks for my personal top 10 for the category, because it's multiple categories, right? But I am going to do my top 3 suggested games for each of the categories. These are games that I think that pretty much generally everybody with an arcade-style machine as a human being will like playing, right? So let's go into the fighters first. For fighting games, my personal favorite on the system actually too is going to be Rage of the Dragons. So Rage of the Dragons is a 4-button fighter. It is online gameplay enabled as well. And on top of that, this is kind of a very unique one. There's tons of different fighters to choose from. However, you also pick 2 fighters at a time on each team, right? So you can't swap between the fighters. So in case one fighter mimight be weaker to a different skill set of moves from your opponent, you can swap to your other one, and that fighter might actually be head-to-head better than the other fighter, right? Than your opponent. So kind of cool mechanics in this game because of that. So it makes for interesting combinations, not just characters, but there's special moves, right? Tons and tons of special combos and moves. So pick it up today, learn all the moves, check them out online. There's tons and tons of resources for this game too. So if you're looking for a game with a super low barrier to entry but a really high ceiling for skill, this is it. It's Rage of the Dragons. My second choice for the fighting category is going to be Breaker's Revenge. So Breaker's Revenge is, of course, just a head-to-head typical kind of fighting game, right? Tons of different moves characters choose from, but the movesets in this game are the very important thing, right? Huge amounts of combos, so you're going to have to discover those as you play, or, again, use these online resources, things like that. Talk to different players, too. This game is online as well, so Breaker's Revenge, check it out today. It's definitely one to pick up for sure if you haven't checked it out yet. Beyond that, my third fighter for my kind of top suggested fighting category games is going to be Karnov's Revenge. So Karnov's Revenge is actually the sequel to another game that we have on the system, Fighter's History. So Fighter's History series does have the second game in the system, or in the series, is going to be Karnav's Revenge. So Karnav's Revenge is, again, a few different characters to choose from, tons of different movesets, but beyond that, the characters themselves are very, very distinct and unique characters, so be sure to try them all out if you're checking out this game too. You might find that you like characters' playstyles a little bit more than you might think for a different kind of character, right? So check out Karnav's Revenge today. Moving on to the sports games now. So for the sports category, my top 3 suggested games, number 1, of course, is going to be Heavy Smash. If you've never checked out Heavy Smash before, it's a fantastic arcade game. It's sort of a brawler, but at the same time, it's a sports game, right? It's extreme handball is really what it's called, right? So it's kind of a mix between, it's handball, it's rugby, it's a lot of things, right? Different skills and movesets. So you're going to actually charge up a power meter in this game the more things that you do. And that's going to activate your characters to be able to do special movesets to basically obliterate the goalies in the other goal, do different movesets. So there's each different team in this game. For Heavy Smash, it does have a very unique skill set, if you will. So they might have different, they might be more powerful and slower, or they might be less powerful and more sped up. They might have different attributes like that too, so definitely try the different teams in this game too. If you're playing 2-player, this is a fantastic game for 2-player, especially head-to-head, and it of course is online as well. So check out Heavy Smash, it's my number 1. My secondary suggestion for the sports category is going to be Windjammers. Again, kind of odd because different kind of sports, right? So not just your typical baseball, basketball, soccer kind of stuff, football and stuff. I like Windjammers a lot. Windjammers is a great game. Highly suggested. It is extreme frisbee. It's not ultimate frisbee. It's frisbee soccer. It is what it is, right? So extreme pong, if you will. So Windjammers again is another online game. So take on your opponents in this game. If you've never checked out Windjammers, it's a classic. It's fantastic. We'll leave it at that, right? Beyond that, Stadium Hero 96 is going to be my 3rd suggestion. So baseball, actually, right? So baseball's a little bit rarer to come by in the arcade scene, and usually they kind of play a little wonky. However, Stadium Heroes 96 did it really nicely, right? So this game is great. Tons of different teams to choose from. Beyond that, again, it does have online play as well, too. You can take on your opponents online on the iiRcade. And beyond that, Stadium Heroes 96, you run the bases. What's nice is that whenever you're running or in the outfield as well, too, if you're on defense, I don't know if you want to call it defense or not. If you're not at bat, if you're in the outfield and stuff, you actually do control the bases via the joystick, so in 4-way essentially, right? So your home plate is down, your right is going to be first base, second base is going to be your up, and then third base is going to be to the left, right? So kind of cool way to use the joystick and utilize an arcade stick, especially in buttons, to play baseball, right? So check out Stadium Heroes 96 in the sports category. It's on sale right now with all the speeding right along here. Our final kind of category is going to be the adventures and RPGs, right? They're kind of the same, a little bit 2 in 1, right? So they are separated on the store for a few different reasons. However, they are ultimately kind of the same sort of thing. So my top 3 for the adventures RPG sections for on the sale right now is going to be 1, Evil Land 2. It's in your track mode right now, of course. If you haven't seen it yet, Evil Land, in general, the series is great just because it evolves. That's right. So Evo, evolution, that's what it is. So it actually starts you off with basically no sound, barely any movement even, and you gradually gain these things, right? So you go from 2D without color, without sound or anything, to with sound, with more attacks, with color, with different audio, with from 8-bit up to 16, up to 32, and then you actually get into the 3D as well too, so it keeps going, keeps evolving as you play. The story is fantastic. It also includes a lot of different arcade throwbacks, right? So you can actually technically play Double Dragon within Evil Land 2 in one of the quests. It's pretty crazy, so kind of fun. Plus it does have different elements. It takes you into like a shooter level, it takes you into a fighter level. It's great. Evil Land 2 is a great pickup if you've never tried it out before too. Lots and lots of gameplay, lots of hours of gameplay in here. So check out Evil Land 2 if you're looking at the adventure category especially. The second one would be Reventure. So Reventure one's a near and dear one to me. You play as a little character, right? So you can get different outfits. You actually play as multiple characters in this game eventually. But you're trying to collect 100 different endings, and each ending is a death, right? So you actually are trying to find how to die, pretty much, in this game, for the most part, right? Some of them is slaying beasts and killing other things in the world, too, collecting things, but for the most part, it's collecting your deaths, right? So this game has a fantastic little 8-bit art style, but on top of that, the writing in this game is phenomenal. It's hilarious. Check it out. Check out Reventure. And then, of course, my third one in the Adventure RPG category for my top suggestions today is going to be the Ys Chronicles, right? So we've got Ys Chronicles 1 and 2. I would personally go with 1 first, and honestly 2 after that, too. I like to say Ys 1 is gather the books, and Ys 2 is put the books back, right? So that's kind of how this game works. It's a full-length RPG adventure. And what's unique about the Ys series, if you've never played it, is that it's not a typical like hack and slash combat where you just spam a button and you're moving around and slicing things with a sword and stuff. You actually have to bump into your enemies with the frontal cone of your character, essentially, right? So you do get sort of unique attacks throughout it and special abilities, but beyond that, the general mechanic of this game is just super unique because you're trying to run into enemies, which is very different than most RPGs, right? So, but if they hit you from the certain sides or the backs, they also have their own special attacks too. That's kind of the core mechanics of this game too. But beyond that, full-length story. The story is great, the art style is fantastic, and the music in this game is phenomenal. So if you're looking for a full-length kind of RPG to play, this game works out just great. So check out the Ys Chronicles. They're available on sale today for 30% off with the other games in these categories, right? Thanks for tuning in and sticking around today. That's all I've got. So just to recap, Cabal available for $9.99 on the store today. 2-player simultaneous play, along with online gameplay and global leaderboards right out the gates. Beyond that, the game sales going on. Week 3 of the game sales is the fighting category, along with the adventure RPG and sports categories, right? So all of those games are going to be 30% off on the store on iiRcade.store. Check it out right now. Keep in mind, too, remember to check out with those games, too. So if you do pick them up, they are available with that sale price tag until 11:59 p.m. CST on next Thursday. So that would be Thursday, November 10th, right on the dot, right? Because November 11th, next Friday, right at midnight, so 12 a.m. on the dot, it transitions over to the Week 4 game sales, right? Now, I'm not going to reveal what those are, of course, yet. It's a secret. It's a secret to everybody except for me right now. So keep in mind, do check out, get these games while they're on sale. Don't miss out on this. Beyond that, that's all I got for you. That's a wrap for today. Also, tune in next week on Tuesday for a special live show. You'll see some different people, right? So maybe my face, maybe some other people's ugly mugs for once, not just me, which is great. So I'm excited for that. So keep that in mind too. It is Friday right now, so just in 4 short days from now, pretty much, right? 4 or 5, however you want to count it. On Tuesday, live special. A couple different announcements for different categories, right? Is it games? Is it machines? Is it other things going on? Who knows, right? So stick around, stay tuned, and I'll see you then. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next week. Bye.